What is going on, guys? Captain Papi here, back with another video, version 13.2. I'm excited. Let's have a look at what they've released for us today. There are three sections I kind of want to cover today. First thing being the team letter, or like the team video. Secondly being the actual in-game announcement, and then third thing being the important notice. No point in dilly-dallying, let's just hop right into it. Part 1 of the 13.2 update will be the TM revamp. Now, people complain about Treasure Map for a long time. I'm a very big proponent of complaining about Treasure Map. I think Treasure Map is one of the least desirable game modes, period. I think that it could be so much better than what it actually is. And this is Bandai's attempt at, I assume, resolving Treasure Map. And I assume making Treasure Map a little bit more interesting or a bit more engaging. And I've had a brief overview. I mean, I was the one that did tweet out all these screenshots, but I haven't actually delved into it, just come back fresh from work. But it seems like they've added in new spots on the map, so card related spots. You can see here that you still have the two sections in terms of your buffs and debuffs. I suppose it's fine, but we're having the new card spots on the map that you can grant certain abilities. These card spots can be things related to the steering wheel, so you can chance of moving the ship forward a fixed number of spaces without expending sailing stamina. That's fantastic. It kind of means that you can move forward faster. Sea chart, which is the chance of raising your navigation level. This is going to be quite a contentious one. I think that for a lot of the early game players, I think it's a lot of the players that aren't as hardcore in Treasure Map in terms of like farming or grinding or trying to rank per se. I think the sea chart is going to be one of the clutchest items to get in Treasure Map, because as Treasure Map points work, the higher your nav, the more points you earn. Obviously, what that means is that there's a lot of questions surrounding this. If I raise my nav level, does that mean I get the points from the previous nav level? Do I just not get points at all? Is it a similar system to that of PKA, where if you raise the boss's level in PKA, you don't necessarily get the rewards from prior clears? I think there's a lot of contention there. I think that, as I mentioned, for the ranker, this is going to be a big deterrent, because this now adds an element of RNG to Treasure Map. I think at the same time, though, along the fact that a lot of these high-end players are doing like 400, 500, 600 nav levels, having the chance of raising the nav level isn't the end-all be-all. However, I think that it could be a bit contentious, but in the grand scheme of things, I think this is a very positive card. I think that it's going to provide a lot of value going forward, and hopefully it means that, for example, like in the current Treasure Map, the TM Tesoro bunch essentially is what I call them. I need to do 40 nav levels in order to get 10 million points. Obviously, that means that I need to clear 4 nav levels to get 10 million points, but maybe being able to raise my nav level early on in the run means I'll get a big bolster of points, and I might not have to do that many more runs in total. We'll see how it pans out, naturally speaking. The slingshot gun and cannon have a chance of defeating enemies encountered. This is interesting, because does enemies encountered mean you have to fight them on the map? Or does it mean I can pop the card when I arrive at the final fight? That's also a really important part there. And the Sea Cat grants points as you proceed along the map. I think they did tease this, and I did talk about this on GGP as well. But I think that the way that the Sea Cat might work is that for a certain number of steps, you're going to earn points for that certain section of the map per se. So I think that overall, all of these are really good. I think they provide so much value to TM, make it seem a bit more like a bit speedier, and simultaneously it seems to provide a lot more strategy to how you play TM. I don't know, looks pretty good to me so far. Treasure cards may be stocked for later use, so that was the indication of those four little card slots as we saw on the JP version. On the English version, only showed 3. So maybe depending on what C you go to clear, you'll get a certain amount of card slots that you can activate. Use these cards at any time you like during the ongoing Treasure Map period. That's pretty good. Pretty unique that they've specified ongoing treasure map period here. I'm not going to make any assumptions in terms of will treasure map be a perpetual bit of content, but I think the wording here is quite unique in the sense of saying ongoing treasure map period seems a bit kind of weird to say. Just say during treasure map. I don't know why you have to go to that extent, but you know, if it is perpetual, you heard it here first, you know. Next thing they did here was improve the gameplay, which I think is just a massive dub. In the video, although the video itself shows it very shockingly, it does show the sun is zipping around the map really fast. So maybe they've expedited the whole connection process, which would be amazing. I doubt they have, because, for example, every time you go hit the dial to move forward in the map, it has to connect to the server twice. Every time you click it, which adds so much more time to your TM runs. If somehow they've figured out a solution to not having to connect to the server every time you click the dial to progress forward, we will see treasure map runs become even faster than what they currently are. And I think for the average player, this is going to be so amazing to just get through this content as fast as humanly possible. And I think it's a pretty cool. I doubt this is one of the map designs, but you can see here this is clearly a the map design is very funky here, to say the least. But this does seem to be a secret map, because you have the birds here for the invasion, plenty of rainbow chests, and some cards at the initial starts of the map. Pretty cool. So fingers crossed that this is not just make the ship move faster, but also is a reduction in server lag time, etc. as well. And then the final thing here is, will we get in the new treasure map in mid-November, which will most likely align to half Annie-esque times, which I think is more towards the end of November, but like this will be the half Annie celebration period, will be the new treasure map's release. That's treasure map. I think overall I'm pretty happy with these updates. I think that obviously there are a lot more unique solutions that they could have approached treasure map with, but I mean, this card solution seems to be a pretty decent system, and hopefully it isn't over encumbersome in terms of like picking up the cards, selecting the cards, picking what cards you want, and you can kind of like rapid fire, like move through the cards very quickly, like the movement cards or the nav level ones or the sea cat, and I just guess like the last thing that I would be concerned about would be the cards that allow you to let me just find it here real quick, apologies, to defeat enemies. Like, do the enemies have to be on the map? Do the enemies have to be do I have to encounter the enemy whilst I'm approaching the final section of the map? Can I use these cards on the final section? And obviously these might answer it as well, but I mean, from the video itself, a lot of questions there. Nonetheless, I think it's a great idea. I think that treasure map's a great start, and later on in the video they do mention that they're going to work on the Kizuna gameplay as well, and I think that these are the positive steps that Treasure Cruise needs to start taking, that we have these game modes in place. That's fantastic and all, but now we need to start progressively making the content more so aligned to the modern era of not only Treasure Cruise but gacha games in general. The next update we have is a collection feature. This way that it seems there's going to be a new button next to effects. There has been space there for quite some time, so it makes sense they're going to utilize that little section here. This isn't anything but cosmetic. It's a bunch of little cosmetic style things. The only caveat here is that when all the characters in a given category are at level 120 or higher, they are given extra effects. I believe that means level limit break 3, because it goes 105, 110, 120, 130, 150. So 105, 110, 120. So level limit break 3, which then would require you to have, I believe it would be 4 copies in the unit. Because you need 1 copy to level 1, 1 copy to level 2, and then 2 copies to 3, and then 2 to 4, and 3 to 5, I believe. So I think it's 4 additional copies, so 5 total. Which is, I'm not going to say that it's reasonable for a beginner, but at the end of the day, I think people need to understand that this content isn't necessarily designed for the beginner. It's kind of the idea of providing this opportunity for people to have more ways to acquire gems. And I think that it's a very fantastic idea. As you can see, there's already 3. We have the Straw Hat Pirates at Wano, we have the Shichibuka, the 7 Warlords, and we have the Yonko, the 4 Emperors, and then 2 more will be coming in the future. And they're ideally more and more of these continuously get put into the game, and we're not kind of stagnated at just 5, because then our gems are purely caveated by the illustrations. And mind you, this is like a kind of acquisition thing that goes forward. It's not necessarily something that we have to kind of target towards, unless of course you want to farm those gems up for pulls in the future. Moving to the next image here, this is the collection reward system. It seems to be that this is a very unique way to approach it. I think that I think that this might be like separate to the collection feature. I think the collection feature is this art system as well as this. So I think that it seems that you might get rewarded. So for like if you get 5 strength legends, you get 5 gems. If you get 5 other legends, which I'm assuming is dual units or versus units, you get 5 gems. If you get them to 150, you also get gems. This is fantastic if that's how it's going to work. I think that if they want to keep chucking legends on legends on legends onto people, they need to provide a system to reward those that are pulling very consistently. And I know that people are gonna be upset and be like, oh, it's unfair that the people that have all the legends in the game already are gonna be able to claim like 600 gems to begin with. You have to keep in mind that the people that already have all the legends in the game have spent like a lot of money. I lost the word there, like exorbitant amounts of money, there you go, to get to that point. So this is a fantastic system. This is all just purely like collection rewards. I love the fact that there's 1 for 150ing a character. This could incentivize more people to go for 150 on characters if they have the means necessary. But on top of that, this also provides people an opportunity to say, oh, okay, I have this character at level limit break 5, but they aren't at level 150 in terms of XP wise. I'm going to go farm turtles to get to that point because I'm 1 character off an additional 5 gems. If we look at like 240, I think there's 240 legends in the game right now, and we divide it up roughly evenly across, what is this, the 6 boards here. You're looking at 40, what is it, like 40 characters per category there. So let's just assume that it's 40 just for argument's sake. That means that, assuming again that if it's per 5 you get 5 gems, there's 40 characters, that means you can claim this 8 times each run. 8 times each run means 40 gems per, which means 240 gems from here, plus a potentially another, what is that, 80 gems. No, not 80 gems. It'd be another, like, some amount of gems. I've lost my train of thought here. But I think that this will grow with time, that means. That means that the longer you play and the more characters you collect, the more you get rewarded, which is super positive. Hopefully, this little indication here means that it isn't just legends and there are rare recruit rewards as well. Or just free-to-play units, or whatever they want to categorize it as. But having a filter or switch little button here, ideally that also means that rare recruits are involved in this collection system, because Treasure Cruise has had the whole idea of the collection log, and like, you know, the character log, I should say, sorry, where you can see all the characters that you've acquired, but this system is going to reward you for having those characters, and hopefully it isn't just rare recruits or legends or Kizuna rare recruits, but it also is Colosseum units and raid units and free-to-play units as well that you can get rewarded on. But all in all, this is a completely positive addition because there's no overhead. You don't have to chase these whatsoever. This is purely free gems that you're going to be rewarded when you get characters. Plain and simple. And then the other updated content, which is pretty sick, is filter by potential ability. This is awesome. I mean, we're always looking for more ways to filter our box, and you know, I've very much so been using the support filter. It's one of the best additions to Trader Cruise in a very, very long time. On top of that, hopefully this potential ability filter also incorporates Final Tap, Rush, and Super Tandem as well. I'd assume so. And this feature here, I don't really care for it all too much. Pirate Alliances are easy to find. Don't care. Didn't ask. There is still a lot of unutilized features of the Pirate Alliance mechanic in general. And I think that they should be looking towards updating how Pirate Alliances work and being rewarded within the Pirate Alliances. I know that in games like, you know, 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross and in games like Bounty Rush, you get rewards from your alliance, from being in your alliance, checking in every day. You can help the alliance out, and you know it's a good way to get people to be on board and to interact with each other more frequently. Overall, more updates the better. You know, it's happy days here. In the upcoming updates, so we have the TM improvements, which was discussed, adding new content. So generally speaking, at least once or twice a year, Treasure Cruise does add new content, and I would not be shocked if this was like teased at 9.5 Annie, or it was released at 9.5 Annie, or if this new content came in next year at 10th anniversary. Either one would make sense. And playability improvements for Kizuna Clash, this is massive. I'm looking forward to an updated Kizuna. I think that I saw Kente, a Japanese content creator, he put out a really cool tweet of some things that would be really nice to add to Kizuna Clash, sorry. Lost my train of thought there. They were the idea of... I've clicked on the tweet. Let's see when it loads up. Here we go. The idea of push notifications when you've been rescued. So when, for example, those that like kind of utilize the suicide strat, if you get rescued, you get a notification. You get a notification for that. Notifications from when you can do a rescue. That'd be really cool too. And a notification when the super boss is defeated would be awesome. And then the other thing is creating bespoke, having a place to build your Kizuna teams that doesn't take up your team slots regularly. So the same way that Treasure Map works would be incredible. And I completely agree. I think all those by themselves would be massive updates to Kizuna that would just propel it to the next step. But obviously there's way more to do with Kizuna that needs to kind of be discussed and improved for sure. Then obviously 30 gems for logging in. I probably should log in to get those 30 gems, but you know, looking forward to that. Now, the 9.5 Annie sneak peek. So 9.5 Annie so far will be a login bonus, free legends, get a present of rainbow gems on the day of 9.5 Annie, which is probably going to be like 15, 20 or 30 gems max, and a Zoro lottery. This is the problem that I have with anniversary content, with the way that they've advertised this. Like, what content is there going to be? Is it going to be the generic, during anniversary months, you get the Blitz battle, you get TM, you get Kizuna, you get Pirate Rumble, so on. You just chuck in a Blitz to mix things up. Like, that's boring. I think there needs to be something added. And hopefully that whole idea of like new content is that kind of addition. But I mean, you know, we can't be for sure here. And finally, they've teased the upcoming Sugofest units. I believe this was decided that these were hex codes, and the colors were like white in like all kind of reddish in a sense. So you could kind of attribute these to Shanks and his crew. Or what Todd actually put out, which was really interesting, was potentially Gear 5 in Film Red. So 9.5 and it could be Film Red related, which would make a lot of sense. And this was figured out to be Shanks's crew purely from the letters. Like every letter is kind of related towards one of Shanks's crew members. I'm gonna see if I can find Todd's image here. Again, shout out to Toski the goat. You know, you have, you know, a lot of pretty much all of the not all of them, sorry, but a lot of the Shanks crew members there are all kind of titled there. So it would make a lot of sense for this to be Film Red related. So we could get another Gear 5 legend. That'd be kind of scary in reality if it was another Gear 5 legend this was related to, or if this is Shanks and then his crew as 2 new legends. But then again, that'd also be just exactly the same thing by the whole idea of the release of Film Red Shanks and Beckman Lucky Root, and you know, and that was it. So Beckman Lucky Root and then Shanks. So I don't know how I feel there. All I know is that Stump's gonna have to do some summons, which means he's gonna have to sell another unit. You know, with the whole idea of not pulling until New Year's. Clearly an embarrassment of a content creator Stump is, but you know, that's besides the point. That is it for the video overall. Now to the in-game post that we got here. Treasure cards are added. Cool. Land on a card and you can use this effect, including 1 of 4 special cards. You can have up to, so including 1 for special effect, you can have up to 4 cards. Cards can be used at any time during the run. So this is the defeat thing. So encounter boss, defeat X2, defeated failed. So I guess what that actually means there, which I think is really sick, is that when you get to the final boss, will these things proc on their own accord, or if you get them and you use them, does it kind of like add up and then it like rolls a dice? Because if that's the case, then that's gonna be incredible, because it means that you just get to verse less mini bosses, which means runs go faster. The only point here is that hopefully you get the points though, because it's, even though the mini boss points kind of are irrelevant, or more so are irrelevant, it is very important that we do get the points for this as well though. But pretty cool. Also additions, improve the speed of the runs. It seems like, you know, these have already existed. Attack up, you know, the log up, and then also the cooldown. Cool. Happy days. We love that. Good eats. Collection feature. New button. Go to collection feature. Get rainbow gems based on the progress. Pretty sick. Check the. Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. So that button's gonna swap us into seeing the units that we can put into the collection, I suppose. Fair enough. That's fine. That's pretty cool. Hopefully that they do change this collection reward thing to also incorporate rare recruits and free-to-play units, but I mean, I guess we're not going to hold our breath too much for that. And then finally here are the last 2 little features here. All elements are still under development. That's cool. For details of treasure map cards, see the respective health. For details regarding the special effects of treasure cards, see the notice for treasure map. Certain Sugo characters will not be counted, and that was like Kung Fu Luffy and Log Luffy were already outlined. Along with the addition of Pyroline sorting option, updating the Pyroline's profile will have a 5-minute update restriction. Fair enough. Depending on server latency, certain features may be disabled temporarily. Fantastic. Sick. And then the final thing here is the important notice. Treasure map update being added. Collection is going to be added. Added sorting for prior alliances. Added potential ability filtering. Added new features for characters. They always do that. Increased character box limit. That is huge. We have not had a character box limit increase for so damn long. It is insane. Adjusted Pirate King Adventures. Interesting. I wonder what they've adjusted in PKA here. Who knows? Adjusted friend missions. Okay, fair enough. Adjusted certain visuals for Pirate Rumble. Interesting. Updated app icon. Interesting. And then other minor fixes. Cool. 10-hour maintenance on the 23rd of October. So that will be the 24th my time. So Tuesday for myself. I will be away regardless. So I will not be able to cover this update whatsoever. But look forward to Todd's video, Stump's video. You know, the goats of the cruise, you know. This video is already 25 minutes long. I'm not going to chop it up at all, I think. I'm just going to let it roll for the whole time. I think I've done pretty well to explain everything. I think overall, final consensus here. I think that this is a dub. I think it's a good update. I think that updating Treasure Map, this seems very positive. It seems to be a way to just speed up the content in general. Hopefully, what I was mentioning to a few of the guys in the Kettle of Idiots channel was that I'm hoping that not only is it the gameplay that's updated, but it's also the rewards, it's also the point rewards, it's also how we earn points. Like, not just the gameplay itself is updated, but the idea of treasure map itself is updated. So better drops potentially, more blue tickets, maybe give us more things to purchase with blue tickets as well, you know, that kind of stuff. So hopefully it's not just the purely centric around gameplay, but there are hidden things that will be updated in terms of like treasure map rewards and point rewards and ranking rewards, etc, etc. But overall, I think 13.2 is a massive W. I think that it's a massive step in the right direction. I think overall though, I just hope that adding new content means a new way to play the game. It means a new game mode. But hopefully it isn't just another cog in the content cycle, right? You know, I haven't said content cycle in a while, but hopefully new content doesn't mean it's a new cog in the content cycle. And it's just a perpetual game mode that we can just keep playing and something to farm. And also playability improvements for Kazuna. I completely agree with Kente as well on that one there. Push notifications would be pretty sick. And then also dedicated team or crew slots would be awesome as well. But with that being said, I think the last thing I want to point out is only thing I'm a bit deterred about is that it's just the video is just another generic slideshow with music. That's fine, but I do think that we are in a weird place where we do not have a producer. I'm going to assume that Yoshi is no longer our producer anymore, which is kind of devastating because, you know, not for the sake of him being a good producer, but it's kind of dystopian in a sense, or a bit weird to have like this overshadowing OPTC team but no face to associate the team to. You know, I think that you lose the human element of talking to someone or looking at someone about you're this person. I know it's a stressful position to be in, but I think there's a lot of value for the human nature of things. But I'm just a guy. I've been Captain Papi. That's been version 13.2. Let me know in the comments section down below if you agree, disagree, you know, what you like, what you dislike, you know, and then we'll kind of go from there. But with that being said, I've been Captain Papi, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.